Hello and welcome into another episode of Farm to Fame. This week's episode, Peter Moylan and Maddie Mass, I'm Kelsey Wingert, is brought to you by Win Reality. Now, Peter, super cool. So you know how much I love SEC baseball. I talked about how much I love my Tigers. Vanderbilt, which obviously is one of the best college programs ever. Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi State, and then Texas and TCU, moving conferences. Just a few of the colleges that use Win Reality. Okay, so Win Reality provides baseball and softball players with virtual reality training so they can see unlimited game speed pitches anytime they want, anywhere that they want. And the best part is their application is designed to help youth all the way to professional. So any age can use it. There's over 300 pitchers to choose from within the application, 8 unique training modes. And hitters who experience this new standard of training can pick up, a level of confidence they haven't before because they're able to see pitches and train and in ways that we obviously haven't been able to.
It's cheating, basically. It's cheating. And I love every minute of it.
Yeah. I mean, and do they use stuff like this in the big leagues?
I don't know if it's in any clubhouses just yet. I do know that there's a lot of players that are very interested in it because, how far analytics has gone on the pitching side. This is a chance for them, the hitters, to get a little bit of an advantage. You imagine being able to see the at-bat that you're going to get off a hitter virtually before you go up to taking it back. Like I can see the future being baseball players lining up in the tunnel with a virtual reality goggles on, seeing exactly how this guy's going to look when you get up there. So you're basically having an at-bat before you have an at-bat. Yeah.
I can't imagine how much this would help high schoolers or how much this would help college guys too. Because you just think about, when a guy's standing in the box, not in the box, on deck, and he's, watching the pitcher and pretending like he is in the box. And this is even better than that because it's right in front of you.
Right in front of you.
So the coolest thing is Win Reality. They're hooking it up for our listeners who want to train like the elite without spending the elite money. Because listen, COVID in this economy, we can't be spending elite money. So you can turn your basement or bedroom into a batter's box if you head to winreality.com and you use the code FARM to train free for your first month. This isn't a day, this isn't a week, a whole month. So make the season one to remember with Win Reality. You can head to winreality.com using the code FARM. First month free. Start seeing pitches today. I think that's actually really cool. I hear them talk about it on Talking Baseball. Yeah. And they think that it's really cool too.
I probably would have, I'm not going to guarantee it, but had this been around 15 years ago, I'd probably be the starting shortstop for the Atlanta Braves as we speak right now.
I really what do you have to lose if you get a free month, especially for those younger kids who don't really have access to stuff like that. So
pick the pitcher you want to hit off and just go for it. There's a bunch of pitches you can choose from in the software. And it just, I can't, as an older man, wrapping my head around this technology is enjoyable. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much. It's the next thing that's coming, and they're leading the way.
Yeah. So that's sick. Use the code FARM. So thank you so much for Win Reality. But yes, welcome into another week of Farm to Fame, week 8 of our full-length episodes. Who is the bat today? Peter Moylan.
Today's bat is brought to you by Ryan Zimmerman.
Okay.
My arch nemesis.
What's your
name? It's going to be a bit of an Orioles pod, so I thought I'd go that general area of the country. It says, one of my least favorite guys to face in the game, except for that day in 2008 when he took me deep, opening night, Washington, D.C. Park. Throw that proverbial stuff overhand. I get that a lot. I do get that a lot. Apparently it's from a lot of right-handed hitters that don't want me throwing from the arm angle that I used to throw from. But
well, hey, gotta get over it. Sorry.
I done had my career. I can't change it now.
Yeah.
I started to kind of sound like you did a little bit there.
I know.
Proud
of you.
I done
proud
had
of you
my...
and proud of Ryan Zimmerman for loving you the way that he does. Very special. So Is everybody good? First of all, Peter is in a crazy stretch right now. So claps for Peter for making this work today. Homie's about to drive to Charlotte and call some ACC games. He's been working the Bravos games. For 14 straight days of work. It's like you're back in the show, you know.
Alumni weekend this weekend. Yeah. Alumni weekend in Braysville. 3 out of 4 against the Pirates. Country. I'm going to call it Braysville because that's where I was. I was in the slums with the people. But it was a good weekend. Alumni weekend was awesome. Got to see a lot of the old guys. You know, it was cool. Yeah. But massive stretch. And look, I don't want people to think that I'm, not appreciative of the fact that I'm working right now, because I really am appreciative. You know, it's been a while since I was able to throw a baseball. So now that I get to talk about it and get paid for it, I'm very lucky. But I also went from 0 to 700 miles per hour when I came back from Australia and just sat around and kind of watched the greenery approach in Atlanta. And then all of a sudden, bang, I'm working every single day. Yeah. So it's been cool though. It's been great. And I'm a baseball guy, so I love it. Yeah. And not that I'm a sucker for punishment, but I get home from the baseball games and I put on the baseball games and watch more baseball. So it's my own fault. It's just everywhere. It's minor leagues, it's big leagues, it's college, and I'm not complaining. I love it. I call that? Well-rounded. You're a well-rounded baseball human. You're covering it from all angles. If it wasn't for the Farm to Fame pod, sorry, we can't leave me just yet. Yeah. Okay. If it wasn't for the Farm to Fame pod, I'd be less well-rounded. So I appreciate John Boy and Matty Mass for inviting me in. And you, Kelsey, you started this whole thing. As Jake likes to say. You hopped on the moving train. I jumped on a moving train. Now, Matty Mass, what are the balloons behind you? Hold on, before you speak. Oh, everybody think of this as if he's at a helicopter and giving you a traffic report. Ready, go.
The balloons behind me are 1 mil because John Boy recently hit 1 million subscribers. Weird flex. We were all here for about the last 20,000 of those, so not there we go. Take too much credit. Oh, we take all the credit. We brought the farmers. The farmers are the true workers who get it done. Yeah, the farmers pushed them over 1 million. We'll take the full credit. Very nice. By the time this episode comes out on Wednesday, we're recording this on Monday, like the unwritten rules, whole Tony La Russa, Yermin Mercedes thing. I understand it's probably old news at that point, but man, that story took over baseball. The big Rays-Brewers trade took over baseball. And that our opener segment is going to be the trade. But before we get to the trade, Peter, do you want to make any comments on unwritten rule situation?
I think it's been done. I think I've voiced my opinion. I've had a lot of conversations this week with a lot of baseball names that I respect, and not just from the younger generation, older generations. And, I've had words and we've had words, and it's been interesting, and it's interesting to see people's points of views. Yeah. I guess the main thing that my generation is worried about is that had he seen the take sign and just ignored it and went against his manager's wishes, then there's an issue there, right? Okay. But if it was innocent and he just took a glimpse down, like the John Boy breakdown said, and he didn't see the sign, and I think it's a free for all. I think it just all bets are off once you've got that guy flinging the baseball in a Major League Baseball game at 47 miles an hour. Like people have paid their money to come out and be entertained. Walking a position player is not entertainment. That's boring. It's boring enough when you've got a guy throwing 100 who walks a guy. If you've got a guy throwing 47 that can't throw strikes, it's boring. For the people that have paid their money to come in and watch, a home run in the 3-0 count might be exciting. I know it was a White Sox home run at Twins Park, but it's still a home run. It's still exciting. And for someone that's spent the time that he has spent to try and get to where he is in this game, to try and put restrictions on a guy that's just trying to be out there. And again, if the sign was given and it was ignored, then the issue is moot. Mm-hmm. But if he didn't see it, then I just think we're blowing this out of proportion for no reason.
Just wanted to give you the platform to voice your opinion. My opinion is irrelevant, but that I would want the numbers. So if you're going to put a position player in there and I can get a home run and feed my family and get better negotiations for whatever contract's coming up, I'm going to do it. But That's going to be old news by Wednesday.
It was a bit of a the thing that got me the most was the way it was handled in the media.
Oh my gosh, it was so like Tony La Russa said something, and then Yermin Mercedes said something, and then Tim Anderson said something on social media, and then Tony La Russa said something again, and I was just like, this seems a little petty. Someone's
going to get a hold of that clubhouse and just say, look, call him into your office and voice it there. Don't voice it in front of the members. Like, you don't even need to face the media anymore. You do it all on Zoom calls. Do what Joe Girardi did and just sort of say, look, I'm not going to touch it, and it's an in-house issue. But for him to voice it so badly in the media,
there will be consequences within the family.
Right? Like, come on, dude. You're not the freaking mafia. Let's calm down a little bit.
And it sucks because the White Sox are having an incredible season, even with all of the injuries that they've had, and Tony La Russa obviously is managing that ball club. So he was having such a good season, and it just seems like it's been like tainted now because the whole world is essentially against him now for how he handled that situation. And it just kind of sucks because it takes away from what that team and TLR has accomplished this year, in my opinion, a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, let's not forget he wore his hat backwards in spring training, so he's one of the cool kids.
Okay, got it. Swag king, Tony La Russa. Sorry, Jazz. Rays, Brewers trade. Very surprising.
Right. We talked about this early on. The minute you heard this, you sent this to me and I was like, okay, Wanda, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
False.
Did everybody think that?
I totally thought that. So the breakdown of the trade, for those of you who are living under a rock, Milwaukee receives Willy Adames and Trevor Richards. Tampa Bay receives JP Feyereisen and Drew Rasmussen. If you've listened to this podcast at all, you have heard us talk about JP Feyereisen. He has been freaking incredible this season. Willy Adames is obviously considered to be one of the best defensive shortstops in baseball. He had a good season last year for the Rays, taking them to the World Series. This year at the plate, he was below the Mendoza line prior to the trade, 197. And he was like really high up there in the league with strikeouts. He had 51 Ks. And something that you might not hear about is, I read an article, the way that he was playing, if he continued to play that way, he could have been diminishing some of his trade value. And a trade was inevitable when you have Wander Franco coming up, you have Wells, who we're going to talk about, you have Vidal Brujan. So there are guys coming up. So Willy Adames to the Brewers. Sorry to Luis Urias. Why can I never say that last name? Urias. Can't say
he had a tough week with the glove.
Yeah.
Tough start to the season, really.
Yeah, it says he had 9 errors in 38 games. The ironic part of this also is that Milwaukee had just traded Orlando Garcia.
Where's he sitting right now?
The Braves in AAA, and he's leading minor league baseball in home runs. So Garcia was the shortstop for the Brewers from 17 to 20. So that's kind of a mess, but now they have Willy Adames, and the 2 games Adames has played for the Brewers, he has 2 hits, 2 RBI, 2 walks. So good for him. Turning around. Trevor Richards, do you have something?
It might be a change of scenery story, like one of those.
For all of them, besides JP.
What's interesting for me is when guys go from, and I just thought of this, but Adames has played on turf 82 games a year, 81 games a year. Now he's not playing on turf. So I'll be interested to see how that, or if that affects his defensive numbers and metrics and all the rest of it. But,
yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
I mean, I just remember even when the Braves would go to Toronto or somewhere with turf, the amount of time that they had to spend infield and outfield.
And it crushes you. Like I know I just stood out for BP in my spikes, but Vernon Wells is the guy that comes to mind that played a lot of center field in Toronto. And he talks about how it just affected his hips and knees and ankles. And because it's just, you're running on basically concrete with a little bit of padding on top.
I'll never understand how guys, even on a regular field, just dive and just your body just you jump and then you crash onto the field. So I've never been able to accept that. I will never do that.
You don't accept a lot of things that involve maybe a little bit of pain. We've established that on this pod.
No pain tolerance. I say I have the pain. I grew up in Texas, so I say I have the pain tolerance of a slug when you sprinkle salt on it. For our audience who has never done that, they shrivel up and die immediately.
Sorry, Peter.
Have you never sprinkled salt on a slug?
I'm saying not me, Peter. I'm saying Peter, the animal activist.
Oh. Like, yeah, sorry to you. Anyway, Trevor Richards, who was another piece who went to Milwaukee, 2 shutout innings in his Brewers debut on Saturday. He lowered his ERA to 3.86 on the season. He can come out of the bullpen, and he has a minor league option remaining. So that's good for Milwaukee. And then you kind of alluded to this, but we thought we were on Wander Franco watch, maybe Vidal Brujan watch. We were on neither, but I think we're one step closer to seeing them, obviously. The Rays instead opted to call out Taylor Walls to take over at shortstop. 24-year-old from Florida State. Joey Wendell will probably also see some time at shortstop, but Walls will probably be there most of the time. And he went 2 for 4 with 2 doubles on Saturday and 1 for 4 with a run on Sunday. So AAA this year, he's hitting 327, 10 RBI. Matty Mass, Peter, I'm sure you saw the video he tweeted out right when Taylor Walls was traded over there with all of his numbers this season. Really good defensively. People who were saying that he's potentially even a better shortstop than Adonis. And he has an additional year and played at higher levels than Wander Franco. So
I'm saying Wander Franco, is that the question mark? Is his defense? Is that why maybe Walls got called up first? Because he's not quite ready defensively?
Taylor Walls has better numbers offensive. I think Wander Franco's hitting 281 and Taylor was hitting 327.
Right.
Franco is a good shortstop.
Okay.
So, but he's just, you don't really hear much about Taylor Walls because Franco's there. He's
that's
a
my
prospect
point.
in baseball.
But I'm never going to question, ever going to question what the Rays do in the front office. They're leading the world in whatever they do. So they obviously know more than I do.
I would, Peter, give yourself more credit than that.
I'm not going to.
You're cultured. You're international.
Cultured. Oh yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that. They might know more about analytics, but you're learning. You're really trying.
I'm really trying.
So anyway, a guy that we're excited about in this trade is JP Fireison, who we've talked about a ton this season. Mm-hmm. Took him, 17 appearances to give up his first earned run of the season. I mean, he was ridiculous for Milwaukee. I am bummed because, Peter, you pointed out in one of our episodes that he's from Wisconsin and how great that is to play for your home team.
Yes, fantastic. And he's done that, and everybody's from his hometown's got to see him. But it's also a fact that if you're in your home team, you get hit up for tickets every single day.
Yeah.
And you pay for tickets. Like, I don't think a lot of people understand that we don't get tickets for free as Major League Baseball players. We get an allocation of tickets that we have access to, but if we access them, we have to pay for them. Mm-hmm. So he would be
price?
Less than, look, it's a long way. I don't actually fully understand how it all works, but it's something to do with taxes and goes onto your taxable income. The full retail value of the ticket goes onto your taxable income. And then, so it's like, it's weird. It used to be before I started. See, all the cool things went away before I started. They started drug testing in 2004. I started in 2006. And they started charging for tickets in 2006. And I started my career in 2006. So before 2006, guys would be like, yeah, man, I'll give you a car if you give me a ticket to every game. And we didn't pay for them. So guys would be driving around in these sweet cars.
Yeah.
And just getting, so the government was like, oh, hold on, I'm going to get our piece. And so, yeah, everything was awesome. I mean, I still had a pretty cool time while I was playing, but yeah, all those things that we're able to take advantage of, I missed out on. Yeah.
Well, JP Fireison, not in his hometown anymore, made his debut on Saturday, scoreless inning. Duh.
Shocker.
And then he got his first career save on Sunday for the Rays with another scoreless inning. Now, we talked so much about how well he had been doing. He had like one bad start in May. It was like the third of an inning, gave up 4 runs and super inflated his ERA to 3.26. Prior to that, he had a 0 ERA, like we're saying, through his first 17 games.
Hashtag reliever numbers. Hashtag.
Yeah, sucks, man. But he's back down below 3 now. He's at 295.
And he's only going to get better in that system. If there's one thing we know about the Rays, it's they can make anybody better. It doesn't matter who you are, what you've done. They're going to make you better.
Yeah. And then Rasmussen is in AAA, so we won't talk about him. But he was good in May.
Great job, Kelsey.
Thank you so much. I wish y'all could see the amount of notes I have on that trade that I did not talk about. So
we'll keep going.
You got to get on the road, and I want you to talk about Ynoa, because did that injury blow. That was really sad. And
I'll touch on that real quick before we get into my special little guy, guy. Kind of weird.
That's fine.
Sounds like I'm talking about my pet. That's my special little guy.
Yeah.
Here he is. Hello. How are you?
Is he in there?
No, he's not. I'm imagining it. Ynoa. Frustrating start in Milwaukee, made even more frustrating. Not only is the best starting pitcher for the Braves at the moment, he's also been raking 2 home runs in 2 starts, but got a little frustrated with his outing in Milwaukee and punched the bench with his pitching hand and broke his fingers. So he's going to be out for probably 8 weeks before he can even start playing catch, which is a real mess, but he'll learn from this and it won't happen again. And I'm just here for all those young guys that listen to this, I'm just here to tell you that the bench is a 150-0 against wrists and hands. Okay. You will not beat the bench. Doesn't matter how hard you think you are. The bench is harder.
What bums me out the most about it is, like, obviously he broke his hand, but I can't imagine like the mental battle he's having with himself right now, just knowing that he was having such a career year. Right. And this was a year where he had a massive spotlight on him because of the holes in the Braves situation, and just what that does to you mentally, knowing that it was completely your fault and completely preventable, so like, I just sympathize for the mental aspects that he has to battle daily now.
Right. There is that. There's also, the fact that the Braves were relying on him as basically the Braves' best starter. So you lose your number 1 starter. But having said that, we've seen Tucker Davidson and Bryce Wilson come up and do more than serviceable job in his spot.
Yeah.
So it's an opportunity for those guys. And I say this all the time, from injuries comes opportunity. And, I wouldn't have got my start in the big leagues if someone hadn't got hurt in the first place. So, it's a chance for them to prove themselves. We've been talking about Bryce Wilson for a long, long time. He did what he did in the playoffs last year, which was sort of his coming out party. Mm-hmm. And then he's been able to back it up with the last couple of starts that he's had for the Braves. So yes, it was a tough situation. He's going to obviously have to fight back and maybe prove himself all over again a little bit. This is not just a couple of weeks. This is a long time that you're going to be away. So the adjustment period is going to be there, but he'll be back. And shout out to you for Huascar. He's faced the media. He owned up to it. And
did he? I didn't see his like press conference or anything.
Well, through other people, he's been talking about the fact. Snit's comments was, it's not the first time, it won't be the last time. You could see that there was some frustration on his face, but at the same time, he's like, look, what are you going to do? There's no point jumping and piling on the kid.
Yeah.
He's done it. It's done. Move on. So I like that attitude as well.
Well, bummer for him.
Seriously. But he'll be back.
Yeah. The other kind of like hybrid opener segment, Rookie of the Year, starting segment, Adolis Garcia. Holy smokes. Peter Moylan.
Our group text during the week was, is he the best hitter in the world?
That's what I was about to ask you.
Yeah. He's got some competition at the moment. There's a few guys that are in fuego, but as far as his week is concerned, and we've touched on him a few times, so I'm going to dive in a little bit. Just to give you a quick note, he's 28 years old, right? Mm-hmm. He was a non-roster invitee. I didn't know this. He was actually DFA'd for Fulte when they signed Fulte. So he was taken off the roster. Then he was called up on April 13th. So he got a slow start to the season.
A slow start, a no start to the season.
A no start to the season. You're right. You're absolutely right. So you know what he's done leading up to this week, but I just want to talk about this week. Tuesday had a 2-run RBI single with the bases loaded. Wednesday, we had the Klubot no. So, he was part of that.
So I think he hit a home run on Monday as well to start your week.
Sorry about it. Thursday, he got another knock. Friday, 2 RBI double in the fourth on a ball off the plate. I don't know if you've seen the video. It's not like he's just hitting mistakes. He's going out and getting balls. So 2 RBI double in the fourth, and then he hit a walk-off with a 3-run homer in the 10th. Saturday, he gets 2 more knocks, including a home run, 2 more RBIs. And then Sunday, he walks him off again against the Astros, who were absolutely on fire. They ended up completing a sweep of the Astros. This is a dude that was with St. Louis, never really got a chance, was playing in a tournament for the Cuban national team, defected, ended up playing a season in Japan, gets picked up by the Cardinals, plays a couple of years in AAA in the Cardinals, gets calls up with the Cardinals. I think he hit 20-something home runs for the Cardinals in 2018. So the potential's been there. He just never really got a chance. Now all of a sudden, even this year, had it not been for injuries, he would probably not have even been activated on the 13th. So, these are the stories that we want you to know about. These are the stories that you wouldn't have heard about. And these are the stories that make baseball fun and cool, because it's not like, oh, he was the 2nd round pick for the Orioles and he went to AA and had success, and then went to AAA and then had success, and then he's in the big leagues and his career's just done this the whole way. Like, fantastic. No, he's had to fight for what he's got right now. And this is what I don't get, the whole angry man yelling at clouds party, that they don't like the enjoyment that the game is showing right now. Yeah. I get that there's some inconsistencies with the level of play and there's, all that sort of stuff, but you can't help but look at a guy like Adolis and go, this game's pretty fun. Yeah. This game is fun.
John Boy
Media, baseball's fun.
A few of the numbers that I want to hit on with him.
Hit me.
He leads the AL with 14 home runs. Again, we mentioned this last week. I just want to keep reminding you guys what Peter said. He didn't come up until April 13th.
That's 2 weeks into the season, guys.
And he's leading the AL in home runs, tied with Shohei Ohtani, second behind Acuna in all of baseball. He has the best WAR among all MLB rookies, again, coming up on April 13th. His 38 RBI, third best in baseball. Yeah. He ranks in the 7th percentile on chase rate and is in the 95th percentile in average exit velocity. So the season that he's putting together is incredible to watch. And I just, in my mind, I have a big billboard that just says April 13th, that he's getting all of this done with 2 weeks less than everybody else. So It's been really cool to see him. And, the Rangers have had such a weird season, and they're in this beautiful new ballpark. And if you've seen the videos of his walk-off hits, he has 3 go-ahead home runs in extra innings, but those are on the road. But when you see, they're filling up that beautiful ballpark, and the Rangers are not great, so they have something to be excited about right now, and it's Adolis Garcia, and he is likely the favorite for Rookie of the Year right now.
Well, AL. Yeah, you're probably right.
Okay, now to our full Rookie of the Year watch to hit on a few guys. Jazz Chisholm Jr.
Thank you. You cannot do this pod without that. Come on.
It's time for a king. The only thing that needs to be said about Jazz Chisholm Jr. is if you haven't seen him in the City Connect jerseys that they wore this last weekend.
Oh, my goodness.
That boy has so much swagger. It's stupid. It's stupid, honestly.
If you haven't got a chance to watch him play, let alone what he looks like just in a uniform standing on a car.
With blue hair.
With blue hair and red jerseys on. Watch this kid play, man. He makes plays in the field. He took Alvarado deep with a neck ball at his head at 100 miles an hour, lefty. Mm-hmm. He's the only guy that's hit 2 home runs off 100-mile-an-hour pitches this year. DeGrom and Alvarado.
No,
Alvarado,
ever. Pitch tracking error. Since they started tracking. And
I thought you were going to say 1908.
This is not a history pod.
1908. The average velo back in 1908 was 37.
But yes, not just this year in the pitch tracking error.
Incredible.
He got a hit in every game this week besides Saturday.
Yep.
He's almost hitting 300. He's hitting 289, 5 home runs, 11 RBI. The one thing, Peter, that he hasn't done since he really came back, I think he just has 1 stolen base since he came back.
Right.
I know he had his first caught stealing of the year. Do you think that that's his hamstring? Like, do you think that they're trying to be careful with him? Or
I would say that they've kind of put a little restrictor on him as far, but the same thing's kind of happening with Ronald too, with Acuna. Like he's not even attempting stolen bases at the moment.
How many stolen bases does Acuna have this year?
Not many. I would say under 5 if I was to guess.
Okay.
But
keep talking.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just because he was on 6. Okay, so he was on fire, and then sort of went through the injuries where he took a ball off the finger, and so I think it's just a case of maybe from the managers, hey guys, we need this season to go 162 games. Maybe just if you don't feel 100%, don't make those attempts, because we'd rather not lose you for 12 to 15 days with a tight hammy and keep your bat in the lineup. Maybe just a little station-to-station baseball for a little while until you get back to 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not stopping him in the field. I saw one at bat against Yamamoto where he was runners in scoring position 0-2, and the guy threw a nasty breaking ball that was like coming down and into him. Obviously, it's sweet spot, but he stayed up the middle, kept his hands inside the ball, and drove it up the middle for an RBI base hit. So it's not just he's a baseball player. He's not just.
Did you see him fall on his way to first in that hit? He tripped.
Did he?
Yeah, I love him.
So if I tripped, you wouldn't say you love me. You'd be like,
yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. Still riding my baseball savant train. He ranks in the 5th percentile in K percentage. So our dude is not striking out.
Leadoff guy, Juan Pierre, JPP guy.
Yeah. So we love Jazz. How much time do you think a guy can miss and like it not affect their contention for an award like Rookie of the Year?
Oh, months.
Okay. So you think Jazz, like, is he your favorite? And no, never mind.
I got pictures that are
Trevor Rogers is probably your favorite.
Hold the phone.
Holding.
They're still talking about Ke'Bryan Hayes as one of the favorites for Rookie of the Year, and he hasn't even played a lot of games yet. So.
Yeah, but wait until we get to him in a little bit, and I tell you what he did yesterday.
Okay.
Trevor Rogers.
Yes.
What?
Great segue, by the way.
Fishy pitch for the Marlins. He had the best start of the season, and we've been talking about how good he is all year versus the Phillies.
He just does it every week.
7 2/3. That's his longest start. He had one start, 7 innings. He gave up 1 run, and it was to McKinstry, the solo shot. 8 Ks, which we've been talking about. 6 strikeouts in every start.
Yep.
Lowered his ERA to 1.74, and he got his first MLB hit with a little slash bunt. Sound effects. So he's starting again tonight.
We miss him every time. Like
I know.
Next week he's gonna get 2 starts this week before we get to talk about him. So it's gonna be fun.
Okay. Yeah. So he's starting again tonight.
There's only like 5 games on tonight too. So if your team's not playing, you're not going to get a chance to hear this anyway. It'll be Wednesday. So if your team didn't play Monday, make sure you watch the game on Monday while you listen to this on Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah. So
just let me go real quick, because I'm gonna go. I'm comparing my 2 favorites for Rookie of the Year right now. This is Trevor Rogers and Ian Anderson. I just want to run through a couple of numbers for you. Okay. Trevor Rogers, current WAR for 2021, 1.9. Okay. Ian Anderson, current WAR for 2021, 1.9. We'll go back to 2019. 2019, Trevor Rogers threw 136 innings. 2019, Ian Anderson threw 135 innings.
So Trevor Rogers won.
You don't win. I'm just going into innings comparison.
No. Higher. He won. Go on.
28 innings last year for Trevor Rogers. 32 innings for Ian Anderson last year.
Okay.
This year, comparing the numbers on the season, Rogers is 6-2. Anderson is 4-1. Rogers has a 1.74 ERA. Anderson has a 2.82, but lowering it very quickly. 51.2 innings for Rogers, 51 innings for Anderson. 35 hits for Rogers, 40 for Anderson. 19 walks for Rogers, 21 for Anderson. 65 Ks for Rogers, 53 for Anderson. So
congratulations to Trevor Rogers for being the champion today, 8-2.
In Kelsey's finger counting game, you won. So I don't know how that's going to go in arbitration, but
I can do it.
The similarities between these two, because I kept looking at the fish and I'm going, why don't we have that guy in the Braves? But more than I dive in, we do have that guy. He's just been around a little bit longer, and these guys are the future. Anderson's getting better every time he goes out.
Yeah.
He's limiting the walks now the more he goes out there, which I think has been his issue. He's been walking too many guys for the first 5 starts, but just to cut, like, not too many, but it's just 4
but like
walks,
2 or 3 a
walks.
start, and you're like,
right, exactly. And you're only going 4 or 5 innings. It's it's a base run almost every inning. So, but yeah, last start, no walks, 6 punch outs, couple like weak contact hits. But yeah, I think these 2 dudes are going to be fighting it out for it. Just like Acuna and Jazz are going to be fighting it out for this Marlins Braves rivalry.
I'm so excited for the Marlins to be like good.
Me too. They went to the playoffs last year, Kelsey.
Yeah. Hey, my only note on Ian Anderson is that he faced Andersons in back-to-back starts. Back-to-back starts, not just twice. That's my only thing on him. Trevor Rogers. His 174 ERA, 5th best in baseball. But he has a 174 ERA. Darvish has a 173 ERA, and John Means has a 170. So he's like right there. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Good luck keeping count.
John Means wins.
His 6 wins, tied for 2nd best in baseball. We're not. I feel like that sounded like the audio they use on Talking Baseball. Baseball. That button.
Baseball.
He became the only Marlins pitcher to ever reach 100 strikeouts in his first 16 career starts.
Wow, they've had some pretty good names come through that. Josh Beckett, Jose Fernandez.
E-Train.
Dontrell. Shout out Dontrell.
And Peter pointed this out last week, and Trevor Rogers only solidified that this week. We are not just talking about Trevor Rogers for Rookie of the Year. We are talking about him as an NL Cy Young candidate.
Correct. Both of these guys.
Every single week. I don't think that Trevor Rogers has had a bad start.
He has been the pitcher of consistency, you might say, Kelsey.
Yeah, I mean, the most runs he's given up in a game is 3. Like, he just hasn't had like that blowout. I mean, he's been good.
Everybody has an every end, like not everybody, DeGrom doesn't, but most human beings have blowout games. They're just not going to have it one day. You just put it down to a clunker, whatever it is. But whatever he's doing in between starts, whatever routine he's got going right now, whatever they're doing, it's working. And I don't see, and it's not like he's not facing good competition. And again, I said it last week, but it'll be coming up to his 9th start this year.
Yeah.
So there's video out, there's numbers on him. He's obviously doing things. Their game plans are working, but yeah, his stuff is legit.
Yeah. You know what else is legit?
Me?
No. Yermin Mercedes.
Yeah.
And the cheeseburger that I would still like to try. Do you prefer a cheeseburger from like a restaurant, sit down, or fast food, like going through McDonald's and getting a McDonald's double?
I tell you, my favorite burger.
Okay.
On the planet is Shake Shack.
Yeah. And what we stay at the hotel was in DC, the one that was, there's a Shake Shack like connected to it.
May have ended my career. I was on the Phantom not long after that 7-burger episode at the DC hotel. But I've got to the point now where I was so fascinated by Shake Shack, and the only one Shake Shack that we have in Atlanta is all the way down at Perimeter Mall.
Yeah.
So I was so obsessed and it was so far away that I would watch YouTube videos, and I actually made a YouTube video for my daughter. You can, Maddie Mash, you can find this. It's on YouTube. Where I made a YouTube video for my daughter on how to make a Shake Shack burger. So I swear, I'll get it up. I'm sure Maddie Mash will put it in.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm not even lying, sisters.
Hello, Montana. I have my meat already prepared as little kind of hockey pucks. All right. Here's what you're going to want to do. You have a hot cast iron skillet going. You pour the oil on. You grab your little Watsy. You grab a little salt. Give it a bit of a sprinkle.
Sprinkle.
I didn't want to touch the meat. You know, it was going on YouTube. So
and put that directly on the hot plate.
2 minute and you have 190 views with 3 likes. Oh, you do have a comment.
Do I?
Spoon for the salt is cute. Here in Australia, we take a pinch with our fingers. You've changed, Moilo.
The only 2 things you've uploaded to YouTube are your debut and Shake Shack.
Not a big YouTube guy. I like to watch us on YouTube, but I'm not a big.
Gosh, so good.
I'm not going to get any sort of ad read requests on my YouTube channel. I tell you that.
Well, to wrap up our cheeseburger conversation, I enjoy fast food, like going through McDonald's and like getting a quarter pounder. I don't like going to like a nice-ish, a normal sit-down restaurant and getting a cheeseburger. They're too aggressive.
They're too
aggressive.
When I have to, like, when the cheeseburger comes out and there's like a stick down the middle of it just to hold it together. Like, what is the point?
Yeah.
Great. My Instagram looks really good, but when I go to eat it, it just falls all over the place. I might as well just have a knife and fork and just chop it up, put it in a blender.
If there's no secret sauce, then I don't even want it. Okay. I just don't. So
speaking of secret sauce, Yermin Mercedes.
You got the secret sauce. We talk about him every week. Dude's still hitting 347. That's third best in baseball, first best in the AL.
Yeah.
Has slowed down with the power numbers.
I have something to talk about just real quick. Just want to hit on that real quick. Okay. Given the hot start that he's been off to, I would not be surprised if maybe the Yankees or maybe the teams that they're going to be playing add the "don't let him beat us" tag to him. Mm-hmm. So he may not be getting the pitches that he is used to seeing right now because of how in fuego he has been. So there's going to be an adjustment period. This may, again, last week I said this could be he's come back down to earth week because he didn't get a lot of, he's still getting his knocks and he's still contributing, but he's just not going to be, may not have to be the Yermin that he has been for the first 6 weeks of the season. So I'm not pumping the brakes altogether right now on Yermin, but
you can. He's sitting 347.
Exactly. He's still leading. He's still probably favorite with Adolis for rookie of the year. So it's like they're gonna fight it out. And again, we're only coming into June, so still a lot of baseball left. And the White Sox are supposed to be there. The Rangers aren't supposed to be there. So White Sox are probably going to get pitched a little tougher, different divisions.
Yeah.
But again, there's no. Yes, there are weaker divisions and there's weaker records, but as you saw with the Rangers and the Astros series, if any team can beat anyone on any given day, which is absolutely great for the game of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yermin had a weird week though. He had 3 multi-hit games and then 3 0-for games. So there was like no in between. But then hopping back on to the baseball savant choo-choo train. Baseball savant, I mean, they have so much information, but the biggest thing that stood out about Yermin Mercedes is that he's in the first percentile of chase rate. So he's been, I mean, obviously, and with his batting average, he's just not only making consistent contact at the plate, but he's showing good plate discipline. But he did get fooled on that curveball. Did you see he like accidentally ducked into the curveball yesterday and got hit in the face, but then he stayed in the game. Now it is time for our top 10 prospects list curated by Matty Mass. Our top 10 prospects is brought to you by Dugout Mugs. If you have seen me drinking out of it this show, I got a cool, and like, okay, let me talk about this a little bit before I get into the ad read.
I'm a little jealous, I'll be honest. You got a Farm to Fame one?
I got a Farm to Fame and Marlins one in honor of Jazz Chisholm Jr. And I think I talked about this when you showed us yours last week. This isn't like a vinyl sticker. Like the woodwork on
I think they call it etched.
I mean, it is so cool. And when you first get it, last week you said that you thought that you could fit a lot of liquid in here. I didn't think that you could when I got it. And I poured my whole iced coffee in here and was very surprised that it fit that much.
How does the wood affect the flavor? Do you get a little bit of a...
I don't taste anything. It tastes the same.
I'm not saying that it would be a bad thing.
Cup.
You know, they put wine and bourbon in wood to give it more flavor. So I'm thinking that, you know, a little 3 minute session in the dugout mug will give that coffee a little bit of a kick.
It doesn't taste any different. But yeah, it fit a lot more than I thought it would. It's kept the drink cold.
Wow.
Is it insulating it a little bit?
It is now. It is now.
So anyway, I'm into it. Like, I'm into it. And I don't know. I think that they're great, and they're running the Father's Day special right now.
Get a set of 6 for your dad. I mean, get a set of 6 so him and all his buddies can sit around drinking out of baseball bats.
Yeah.
What's cooler than that?
And you said that your wife really liked it.
She was
I know.
Pumped.
My friend Drew was like, I'm getting one of those from my dad. And I was like, that's exactly what we're trying to get you guys to do. And I don't know if you follow them on Instagram, but they just came out with this executive series type of mug, and it's like Blackwood. So then this is the logo that you choose is brown, and you can get custom logos, which I didn't know. They have deals with all 30 MLB teams. You could get like a picture engraved on it. And they don't just have these mugs. They have shot glasses. They have bottle openers. I hadn't dove into the website until this week. And I was like, holy smoke. They have a little wine glass, kind of a short guy. I don't know. It's cool.
So cool.
Okay.
The coolest.
Their early bird Father's Day sales happening now, like we said. So the first 300 orders with the code Farm to Fame get what, Peter?
I don't know. What do they get?
35% off.
Of course they do.
And as the orders come in, the discount gets lower. So like we said last week, get ahead.
You also called out every single Instagram influencer in the world by saying they only give 10%.
Yeah. And they're like, use my code for 10%
35%.
off. And it's like, great, $3. No, and that's like my friend who said he was going to get one for his dad. Like, these are a quality gift, right? So full price, they're like $65. But so at first he was like, that's kind of expensive. But then when he put in the code and he saw how much money that took off, what's 65 times?
Yeah, not a math bod, lady.
65 times point. So you're saving $23. It's not $3 Instagram influencers. So so you use the code FARM2FAME. Or you can go to dugoutmugs.com/discount/farm-to-fame. But like, if you get it now, first of all, you're ahead in your Father's Day shopping. And like, gosh, I hate when I wait until last minute because it sucks. It's stressful and you're saving more money. So these are sick.
Get on them.
I really just thought that it was just these on the website. And then when I went and looked, I was like, and like, if you think that this is like too expensive, they have the bottle opener, like the shot glass. I'm sure those are cheaper. So getting into our top 10 prospects, I'm going to kick it off with the hottest player in minor league baseball, and that is Jesus Sanchez for the Marlins. He is their number 6 prospect. He's an outfielder. He's sitting in AAA. And Peter, he's playing on rookie mode right now.
Is he?
This season, he's hitting .469. Okay. And he has 30 hits. 13 of those hits have gone for extra bases. So right now he has the same amount of strikeouts as he does extra base hits.
Okay. That's really cool when they say strikeouts they have more hits than strikeouts, but he's got more extra base hits than strikeouts. That's next level.
He's leading all of minor league baseball in OPS, batting average, RBI, hits, triples.
What position does he play? Did you tell me that?
Outfielder.
Already? Okay.
He only has 2 games this whole minor league season without a hit. He has gotten a hit in every single besides 2 of them. And he has 9 multi-hit games in 16 games. This is a guy who came up last year for the Marlins and did not do well. He went 1 for 25. They wanted him to obviously develop more in the minor leagues, and he has been developing. And he's going to force their hand. You can't sit on a guy who he's slashing .469, 500, 938, and 64 at bats with 7 home runs, 20 RBI, and a 1.4 OPS. And on Sunday, he went 2 for 4 with 2 doubles, and it only upped his average 2 100ths, 2 1000ths. Not a math pod. He's insane. So I feel like we might see him kind of soon because they did have an injury in the outfield. So but anyway, that's Jesus Sanchez. If you don't know him, now you know.
When you don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
Can we sing songs that we would have to pay licensing money for?
Yeah, you can sing them. You can sing them because you're not close.
Excuse me?
I didn't say anything.
I want to touch on I think this is the first time we've spoken about the Kansas City Royals this year, maybe. Mm-hmm. Bobby Witt Jr. Son of Bobby Witt. we all know him from making a splash in spring training this year.
Yep.
And all the ridiculous tweets about him opening the season with the big league club. But he had a little bit of a slow start in AAA. He was hitting 178 on May 16th, and then he decided to go ballistic and get 8 hits this week, including 2 bombs. One of those said bombs was 450 feet, 112 miles an hour, and out of Hammond's Field, out of the stadium. If you haven't seen the video, go check it out. This kid was, as I said, in spring training going absolutely bananas. May not be in their plans for this year.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Definitely in their plans for the future. He was second overall pick in 2019 draft, their first pick, obviously.
Do you want to see him this year?
I don't think so. I think that would be just, I don't think Dayton Moore would allow that to happen, especially there's enough guys in that organization that would probably get a chance before him. But he's definitely going to be on the radar. He's probably 2023, if I'm being honest. But yeah, you go from the highs of a big spring to sending to regular minor league baseball again. But he seems to have got his feet under him and gotten used to because 2020 was a waste year for these guys. You know, you get drafted in 19, all of a sudden you think you're going to go to 2020, you're going to have a full season. But
who's the shortstop for the Royals right now? Anybody locked up?
It's usually Mondesi, but Mondesi's been
okay.
Been
so
hurt.
There's nobody blocking him.
Mondesi's their guy. If he can stay on the field, Mondesi can be a game changer also. So I would, he's a couple of years away, I would say. But shout out for you for the week you had Bobby Witt, went 10 around. Junior, okay. Sorry, wasn't talking to your dad, talking to you.
Okay, well, moving over to the Cardinals.
Los Canados.
Yeah, the Cardinals have a Nolan problem right now.
Ooh.
They have a Nolan problem. Nolan Arenado, we know him, one of the best third basemen in the game right now. Are you going to peg him as the best third baseman in the game?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
While Rendon's struggling a little bit, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Austin Riley might be that there, but yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
I love Austin Riley. Listen, I love that boy. He had like a partnership with like a cooler company, and he had a cooler in his locker, and he had to keep a popsicle frozen for like a week in his locker.
Really?
Yeah, it was so good. But Nolan Arenado is obviously the third baseman for the foreseeable future for the St. Louis Cardinals. But Nolan Gorman was their first round pick in 2018, who's their top third base prospect. He's known for his power. So in that 18 draft, he was the top slugger in the whole draft. Some scouts have said he has 40 home run potential, 40 plus home run potential. And he opened everybody's eyes in spring training. But the issue now is, what are you going to do with him? Are you going to move him to second? Does he have the athletic ability to play a middle infield position? Are you going to move him into the outfield? Are you going to trade him? I don't know, but that's out of our control. This week, he was in a 5 straight multi-hit game stretch. In that stretch, he hit 565. He upped his average from 156 to 327 in that stretch. Right now, he's hitting 300 because he went 0 for 5 on Saturday. But he also has a 15% walk rate in the first month of the season, and they're liking that he's showing more patience at the plate. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with him. I don't think we'd see him up this year, even if Arenado wasn't there. We might. He's in AA right now, but whenever the Arenado deal came down, he tweeted out he was wanting to get in touch with Dustin Pedroia, and he tweeted that out immediately to get help at second. And he and Pedroia had a conversation. And,
that's cool.
But what's been weird is you would think that they would be moving him around a little bit this season so far, just, because what are you going to do with him at third? And they really haven't. Like every start, besides he got 2 starts at second and 2 starts DHing, but the other starts have all come at third. So I don't know what the heck and Bob they're doing with him, but he had a wild week. He had a 3-run home run that walked off the game on Friday's game. That it was suspended from Wednesday. So it was really Wednesday's game. Friday, that day that he hit the walk-off home run in the suspended game, he had 4 hits. So he had a really good week, but I don't know what they're going to do with them. So that is Nolan Gorman and the Nolan problem that the St. Louis Cardinals have.
I would like to talk about. Now, it's pretty hard for pitchers to get on this pod, right? But
unless you're Peter Moylan.
Jordan Westburg is not a pitcher, but next two guys I'm talking about are pitchers. So,
okay.
Jordan Westburg, you want to talk about a week?
Yeah.
From May 13th to May 23rd.
Okay.
He got 2 hits in every single game.
Oh.
16 hits, 4 doubles, 2 home runs, and raised his average from 231 to 400. Yeah.
Wow.
He's doing it for the Delmarva Shorebirds, and he's projected to be in the 2023 Orioles opening day roster. He's the 6th prospect in the Orioles organization. They've got some dudes coming as well. You'd want to if you finished last for the last 9 years in a row. But
what position does he play?
He is a position player.
Got it. Okay.
Congratulations.
Peter Moylan, everybody. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. Jordan Diaz or Diaz. I say Diaz because I worked with Matty Diaz.
He's the only one that calls himself Diaz, by the way. So it's Diaz.
It's like one of my best friends. Her name is Sam Napoli. But every time she meets anybody in my Atlanta life, they call her Sam Napoli. So anyway, I say Diaz because I worked with Matty Diaz my first season. Jordan Diaz. He's in the A's organization. He's their 12th ranked prospect. He's in high A. He's another third baseman. Okay. Tuesday home run, Wednesday home run, Thursday home run, Saturday home run.
What?
Yeah. He's in a 5-game hit streak. And in that streak, he hit 4 home runs that I just mentioned, 8 hits, 9 RBI. He came into the week. He didn't have quite the jump that your last guy had. Came into the week hitting 200, rose it to 263.
That's still a lot. It's 63 points. That's a lot. That we just became math pod, by the way.
Yeah.
I nailed that.
Math. He is the youngest player on the Lugnuts. Lugnuts. He's 20, which doesn't seem that young for high A, but he's the youngest player on there. And when you look at the whole A's organization, he is known for his plate discipline, and they say that he has some of the best bat to ball skills in the whole org. And he skipped low A. So they gave him a little jump into high A this year. So he signed in 2016. He's had a really good week.
Good for him. Well done. Moving on to Grayson Rodriguez, 2018 11th overall pick for the Orioles. Now, to make this top 10 as a pitcher, you got to do something pretty special, and he did. Okay. So he went 6 innings of 1-hit ball. The 1 hit that he gave up was a home run. Unfortunate. But on the season so far, he's 2-0 in 4 games, 18 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, 31 punch-outs, and a 1.47 ERA.
4 walks, 31 Ks.
4 walks, 31 Ks.
Wow.
So when you talk about Westburg and Rodriguez and Adley and Grayson and DL Hall and all these guys that are in the organization, you in the what? Do they lace mine? I'm usually so good with my words too. They have all these guys in their organization. I think my teeth got in the way. Can you tell? Tripped on my own tooth. That's the first time it's ever happened in the history of podcasting. Somebody tripped on their own tooth. But yes, they have a lot of dudes. They have a lot of guys that we're going to be talking about for the future of this pod.
Okay. Shout
out to the Orioles. Might be the minor league hat of the week, which would go on that side on top of Chris Medlin.
I see you didn't get your Marlins hat yet.
Some of us don't get.
I didn't get
like you do.
The Marlins don't know that I exist. Dugout Mugs knows that I exist.
Jazz Chisholm knows you exist.
Jazz Chisholm knows that I exist. That's about it, though.
Yeah.
Okay. The Red Sox are legit.
It sucks, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. They have Jeter Downs, which is just incredible. And I know a Jeter, we know there's a Jeter, but Jeter Downs is a strong baseball name. He's in AAA. He's a middle infielder, a shortstop, but he's also been getting some work in at second. Okay.
Who did he get traded for?
But he was the main piece in the Mookie Betts deal. So he was a supplemental first-round pick in 2017 by the Reds, and then he was traded to the Dodgers in December of 2018. He had a breakout year with the Dodgers that year, and then that made him become the main piece in the Mookie Betts deal. He has a 6-game hit streak. In those 6 games this week, 11 hits and 2 home runs.
That's a good week.
to take his batting average from 237 to 270. He started the season 0 for 10 in his first 3 games. So, that's rough. And to bring it up to almost 300, keep going, boy. He's also stolen 7 bases this season. And you think about how, that's one more than Acuna. I know it's hard to compare, but Acuna has played the big league season, has a month longer, and this dude has a month shorter of games worth. And his career high came in 2018 when he had 37 stolen bases in A-ball.
Shortstop, right?
Yes. He will play both middle infield positions this season, but he is a shortstop. So he's an exciting guy. He has power. He has speed. He can hit for contact. He has great pitch recognition. So they really like this guy, and there would be a lot more hype around him if there wasn't no COVID season, because he had a big spotlight on him, obviously, after the Mookie Betts trade. And then that kind of dulled down when there was no season. So Jeter Downs, AAA for the Red Sox.
Before I get on to my next guy, Maddie, can you look up Wade Miley? Did something happen to Wade Miley this week? Did he get hurt this week?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. He got put on the IL.
Oh,
okay.
no.
So Nick Lodolo, 2019 Reds #1 pick, 7th overall. He's pitching for the Chattanooga Lookouts right now. On May 19th, 7.1 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 11 punch-outs. So now in 3 games, he's got 15 innings, 8 hits, 1 run, 5 walks, 24 punch-outs, a 151 opponent's average against, and a .83 whip. And he's down there with, you probably heard of Hunter Green.
A little bit.
So him of the 177 mile per hour fastball. So they got 2 legit aces down there at Chattanooga right now. And with the injury to Wade Miley, there's been talks of potentially getting him called up this week. But
there's only 3 letters in that whole last name.
Yeah. Some people have 3-lettered names too.
Yeah, but he has 6.
There's yep.
That's efficiency.
So some people are talking about him potentially being called up for Wade Miley's spot. I went and looked at some video of this guy. He's very much like a Crochet or a Sale or those whipping lefties, tall, long, lanky legs and arms everywhere lefties that just have an ability to shove. But yeah, his numbers are off the charts, and I'd be interested to see how they fill that spot when that spot comes around.
Heliot Ramos.
Say it again.
Heliot, spelled Heliot, pronounced Elliot. For the Giants, he's their #3 prospect. He's in AA. He was their first-round pick in 2017.
He has 4 different letters in his name for those playing at home.
2, 3, 4, 6.
Not a math pod, Kelsey. That was the joke.
Oh, well, that was his first name too. I wasn't even doing it right. So people were kind of surprised that he didn't start the season in AAA. He finished 2019 in AA, but he only had 25 games there. And the Giants were, what's the word I'm looking for? Conservative with him, and started him in AA. He was kind of my least exciting guy on this list. So he had a 2-week dry spell. He snapped out of it on Friday with a 3 for 4 night that had a home run and 4 RBI in that game. And after that game, he was hitting .304. It's dropped because the last 2 games he wasn't as great. But this week he had 7 hits, 6 RBI. He had an impressive start to the season and good defense. But the thing that he was in a lot of articles this week is because Hunter Pence did a radio interview with one of the stations in San Francisco. And, the Giants have had this super weird year where it's like, well, they keep winning, but people aren't buying into them.
Right.
But they're still winning. And the conversation was, are they going to be, sellers or buyers? What is going to happen? And he said, Hunter Pence was like, I would not trade Heliot Ramos for anything. Yeah. And in spring training, he hit .410. So he had a good spring training, but he'll probably be promoted to AAA soon. We'll probably see him in San Francisco later this season. So he's definitely a name to know.
That's a tough spot for the Giants to be in right now, right? Not expected to win this year. You've got 2 absolute powerhouses in the same division that you're going up against for 19 games apiece.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're having some early success, They found lightning in a bottle with Alex Wood and Gosman and
Gosman, man.
And DeFuscano. So
have you looked at Gosman is like second in ERA in baseball right now.
Yeah. So that's my point.
If
you're the GM of the Giants, do you go out and add at the deadline and hope this thing continues, or do you just continue on the same path that you had, the plan you had, and just whatever happens? Like it's a similar situation to the Braves back in 18, I guess. The Braves weren't supposed to be that good, and they ended up being pretty good, and everyone was sort of, well, why don't we go for it now? Why don't we go for it now? And it's just, that's why GMs get paid the money they do, because that's the kind of decisions you're going to have to make. But that's exciting for them, though.
Yeah. Speaking of the Braves, real quickly.
Yes.
Has Shane Green?
Yes.
Has he gone anywhere?
He's in Gwinnett. He pitched in Gwinnett, one game in Gwinnett, punched out the side. I think they talked about potentially June 1st of being the arrival date. That'll give him another couple of games in AAA. Moving on. Joe Adell. We got to see Joe Adell in the big leagues. Struggled in 30-something games in the big leagues last year with Los Angeles. I actually got to see Joe Adell in the Team USA versus Australia. I bring this up every time as a representative.
I love it, though.
Did beat the USA once. But Joe Adell is in Salt Lake.
Okay.
On May 17th, he was hitting 191 after going 0 for 5 and probably looking at himself in the mirror and going, what am I doing? Since then, he's got 9 hits, 1 double, and 5 tanks. So that's a pretty good week. So now for his season, in 69 ABs, he's got 18 hits, 4 doubles, 9 home runs, and 17 RBIs.
Wow, 9 home runs.
Including 2 2-homer games. I hope for his sake that he's found something. That's the one thing that people miss sometimes, is that you get these can't miss prospects that come up and struggle, maybe getting called up before they're ready.
Yeah.
Getting exposed to a level of the game that they're not quite ready for. Maybe they're physically ready for it, but maybe, you struggle on the big stage and it's like, oh, okay, this is real. But for him to go down and have found something and definitely found the power stroke, and with the injuries to Trout, they've got so many prospects as well.
He looks like a grown man.
He's a grown man. He is a grown man.
Like his headshot picture, he looks like he's 30. Like he is a grown man.
Yeah, and he's going to...
he was born in 99.
Yeah, but
cool.
Shout out to Joe Adell.
Yeah.
I hope you keep doing it.
Bonus guys this week.
Ooh.
Taylor Trammell. Okay, Mariners. You heard us talk about him earlier in the season. He's the guy from Georgia. Chipper Jones likes him. Got sent down when Kelnick came up. Since he got sent down to AAA, has a 10-game hit streak. He's gotten hit in every single game he's played. Sunday, he went 4 for 4 with a home run and a double. He has 6 multi-hit games in his 10 games since joining Tacoma, 5 home runs. He's hitting .512. .512 since he's been sent down, with 10 extra base hits, 16 RBI, and 7 runs scored in 10 games. That's Taylor Trammell. Curious to see what happens with him.
This is, again, frustrating, though, because you brought up Kelnick and then you sent down another prospect and then they're doing opposite things. So what, are you just swapping back over again? At what point do you just, they're not supposed to win? Get them both up there, Mariners. Let's get the all prospect team going and let these guys get their teeth cut in the show.
Like you said about one of your guys that you're talking about had 2 hits every game from like the 13th to the 23rd or whatever. Taylor Trammell's averaging 2 hits a game since he got sent down. He's just unfair.
Good for him.
What he's doing in AAA right now. Yeah.
That's a tough pill to swallow. Hey, welcome to the show, by the way. Sorry. See ya.
Yeah. And to be sent down for a guy who, is really factored into their long-term plans. And there's another one coming in Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So, Taylor Trammell, really stinking good for him. Really stinking good for Cody Poteet for the Marlins. He's up in the show right now. Sunday, 7 shutty versus the Mets. Granted, the entire Mets team is on the IL right now. All 25 of them. They're all hurt. 7 shutty on 93 pitches versus the Mets. His start before that, 5 shutty versus the Phillies. So a comment that I made to you, Peter, is not only is he pitching well, but he's pitching really well in divisional games, which is very important in a division like the NL East. He has a 1.08 ERA in 3 starts after debuting this May. And then when we talk about the Fisher pitch, Cody Poteet, Pablo Lopez, Sandy,
Alcantara.
and Trevor Rogers have combined to pitch 27 2/3 innings, allowing just one run in their most recent starts. Fishy pitch.
They are, congratulations to them.
Cody Poteet, I did not see anything about him on social media, and the dude has pitched 12 consecutive shutout innings for the Marlins, coming out of nowhere. Fishy pitch.
That's crazy in this day and age that we haven't heard of a performance like that. I feel like everyone that does anything is everywhere. But
I'm going to put that up right after this.
Okay.
He deserves some respect.
Shout out to the Marlins. Made the playoffs last year. I keep saying it. They were in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, and again, when we were talking about Tyler Stevenson and throwing respect on his name, there's some respect on Cody Poteet's name. He has never pitched this well in minor league baseball, and he got his opportunity in the show, and he is shoving right now. So good for him. Talk about him. 7 shutty versus the Mets, 5 shutty versus the Phillies. Those are good lineups when the Mets aren't all hurt. Rookie matchups this week. Alex Kirilloff beat Tristan McKenzie, who was just recently sent down to AAA. He went 2 for 3 with 2 singles, 2 RBI. Adolis Garcia versus a guy we haven't talked about really for the Astros, Brian Abreu. He walked it off against him. But then the next day, Abreu got him to ground into a double play. I still think Adolis won that.
Yeah.
Because he got the walk off.
Correct. Hold on.
Take the double play, but.
Yeah, he definitely won it.
Okay, got it.
Not a fingers pod.
Injuries, Peter.
Hit me.
Alex Kirilloff came off the IL. Yeah, he came off the IL on Friday.
Yeah.
He had that wrist injury where he missed 16 games. On that game he came off, he went 2 for 5, 2 runs, 2 RBI.
Nice.
Both hits registered exit velocities of 100 miles per hour or greater.
So the wrist is fine.
Yeah. Saturday, he extended his hit streak to 9 games. He had a game-tying RBI single.
I'm so glad that stint hasn't stopped the hot streak because he was rolling for a while there.
Sunday, he went 0 for 5 and ended his hit streak. But
it's okay.
He had a 9-game hit streak, and he looked really good in those first 2 games back. And when he had 2 games in AAA rehab games, and he went 3 for 6, he hit 2 home runs in those rehab games. So he says that he doesn't need a brace on his wrist when he's not playing. But he did say, and Peter, I'm sure that you know exactly how this is. He said that his routine now involves an extra half hour of pregame swing preparation and postgame treatment, which just keeps adding, right? You're never, after opening day, you're never at 100%.
No.
But he says that he deals with some popping sensations and mild soreness. They have not given any specifics as to what this wrist injury is. So that's kind of the most specific thing that we've gotten. And he might get off-season surgery. So.
As long as you can play through it. And as I think I touched on it last time, as long as what you're doing is not going to increase the rehab of said surgery. Like if you can't hurt it anymore and you can play through it and you can get 2 knocks and 2 RBIs, then keep doing it. But if it starts to hinder your swing and you start to struggle, then I think you might see him.
Well, he's still doing it, and he plays for the Twins. I didn't mention that. Ke'Bryan Hayes, you mentioned him earlier, finally started his rehab assignment, best player on the Pirates. So he started his rehab assignment on Saturday. He went 1 for 2 in his first rehab game. On Sunday, he went 2 for 4 with a double and a home run, 2 runs scored, 2 RBI. He's 3 for 6 in his first 2 rehab games, but he's not eligible. He was moved to the 60-day IL because he was put on the IL April 4th. He's not eligible to come off until June 3rd. What I didn't know about him, Peter, is that he has won 3 consecutive Rawlings Gold Gloves in the minor leagues. I knew that he hit 376 through his first 24 games, and he was named Rookie of the Month in September last year. I did not realize how good he was defensively.
Right.
But that makes sense because there was so much talk around him being the top Rookie of the Year candidate before the season started. But 3 consecutive Gold Gloves. He became the 2nd minor leaguer in history to do that. Only 2 guys have ever done that in minor league history.
Well, if you're down there and you're having success, you're not usually in the minor leagues long enough to accumulate 15.
Yeah, okay. You're right.
Yeah.
We'll probably see him June 3rd.
I hope so.
Could he play his way into Rookie of the Year conversations after missing?
Without question. Okay. But he's going to have a tough, especially with the pitching the way that it has been so far. That's the 2 guys that he's going to have competition with, who, barring injury, are going to be here for the whole year.
Zach McKinstry started his rehab assignment with the OKC Dodgers. Friday, 0 for 2, played 5 innings in the outfield. Saturday, played the second half of the game at second base, went 0 for 2. Sunday, finally got a hit, started in right field. He's rehabbing down there with Cody Bellinger, who hit a home run on Sunday. If you forgot who McKinstry was, this is a guy who we talked about a ton. He's been on the IL since April 23rd, but prior to that, he was hitting .296 with 3 home runs and 14 RBI and 54 at-bats for the Dodgers. Utility rookie guy. We like Zach McKinstry.
Made a big splash when he came up for the Dodgers early on in the year.
Yeah. If you're an OG and you were listening to our mini episodes when we started Farm to Fame, our 2020 draft episode, I was pumped about Pete Crow-Armstrong for the Mets. This is a guy who went to that same prep school as Giolito, Max Fried, Flaherty, the Mets 2020 first round draft pick. They said that he is defensively ready to play in the big leagues today. He had season-ending surgery in his shoulder. Bummed me out. But that's it.
And I wasn't in the run, but I'm going to just hit it real quick.
Okay.
Team USA announced a preliminary roster for the Olympic qualifiers that includes Homer Bailey, Anthony Gose, Edwin Jackson, Matthew Liberatore, David Robertson, Mark Ritsensky from St. Louis and big Seattle lefty reliever, Tim Fedorovich, Matt Wieters, Logan Forsythe, Todd Frazier, John Jay, and Matt Kemp. While we're on that roster, Dominican Republic have announced 4 players who are going to join their team for the qualifiers.
Okay.
Melky Cabrera, Jose Batista, Edwin Encarnacion, and our guy, Julio Rodriguez.
Oh, love that.
So I'm actually heading off to an undisclosed location in a couple of weeks for Australia's Olympic qualifier, and I'm going to be part of the coaching staff for that team.
Ooh, love that for you.
Little breaking news on Farm to Fame podcast.
When can you announce where you're going? Why is it secret?
Because they had it set up in one particular part of the world that has now had a slight problem with COVID, so they've had to move it to another part of the world, and I'm not allowed to say where that part of the world is just yet.
Okay, that's super fun for you. Another job.
I'm actually going to be the first base coach, so.
Love that for you.
Back.
Gotta be loud and clear.
And I'm done.
Okay. Aussie lingo.
Aussie lingo. Today's Aussie lingo / slang is, you may have heard this one before, so it might be easy. Dunny.
No, haven't heard it.
Dunny.
Is it a noun?
I don't know. This is not English, bud.
Okay.
Why would you call me out like that in front of all our 7 million listeners and just know that I think I told you this, right? My daughter's homeschooling and has been homeschooled for the whole year, and she's in grade one, and they're learning about nouns, pronouns, and all this sort of stuff. And I'm struggling in grade 1 English.
Yeah.
Because
I don't understand pronouns or adjectives or adverbs.
That's what I'm saying.
I have verbs and nouns down.
Okay, good. I can speak fine. I can't spell, and my reading leaves a lot to be desired. So I got really lucky that I was able to throw a fastball at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah,
let's just say
you could
that.
do that.
Yeah.
It ends in a Y, D-U-N-N-Y.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Is it a truck?
No, that's a good guess though. Matty Mass always comes with like a deep, well thought out answer.
Because he has more time to think about it.
A lot of pressure on you right now,
It's
Matty.
not fair.
Kelsey's answer was good.
Thank you.
It's not what I was going to say.
Okay.
What I was going to say was Dunny means napkin holder.
You know what? I really appreciate the confidence in which you come with your answers.
Yep.
But you could not be further away from what this actually is.
What?
Good.
That's the worst one you've given.
It's one of these days I'm going to give a very specific answer like that.
And you're going to be right.
Just waiting.
It's so true.
Just waiting.
It's pretty simple. A dunny, we call a toilet a dunny in Australia.
Oh.
Yeah. So from now on, if you're ever saying, you know what, I'm just going to pop to the dunny.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say loo. We say, I'm just going to hit the loo.
Yeah, I've heard the loo.
Right. That's more English. So dunny's the Australian one.
So what are the words that we've done?
Matty Mass. Thong.
Thong.
Boot Trunk.
Boot and Bonnet.
Boot and Bonnet. Last week was Esky, and we've also done
Firkin-Nickel.
Dog's Breakfast.
Yeah, and Firkin-Nickel.
Yeah, something like that.
What? Let me go back to my notes. Fair Dinkum.
Fair Dinkum. That was close.
And Esky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Peter has to get on the road to Charlotte. So if
guys.
you're watching ACC baseball this week,
listen for my voice.
Yeah, it's hard to miss.
Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you to Win Reality. Again, that code I believe is FARM for a free month.
Guys, get on it.
Dugout mugs, Father's Day, code FARM to Fame. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you back here on
We really
Wednesday.
appreciate every one of you guys that listens. And shout out to the people that shout at me on the set of Braves games talking about Farm to Fame, because I love
and you
it.
guys, and they've left such nice comments in the reviews. You guys have been very, very supportive, and we super appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you have a good week of baseball watching. Peter Moylan, have a great drive. Drive safe.
I will.
We love y'all.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.